So, my friends, just a couple quick things as we begin our journey into Illustrator that I absolutely want you to remember. These are things that I see people commonly get hung up on, and I want to remind you about. So, when you're creating a new document in Illustrator, always, 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 always in inches. Sometimes it will default to points. Points are incredibly small. So, even if you type in 11 by 17 points, let me show you what that actually equals out to in inches. It's not even a full inch. It will mess with your tools. It will make everything hard. Never, ever, ever use points. Okay? Other things I want you to know that took me a while to learn. I'm trying to save you the heartache. This arrow is for moving things. This arrow is for manipulating paths. Like I said, paths are kind of like connect the dots here. You can select a path, and all those little squares are anchor points. You have to double click on an anchor point to edit it. You can pull it out, push it in. Sometimes if the anchor point isn't moving, you may have clicked on a handle. This is a handle. You can push and pull the line coming from your anchor point. Speaking of anchor points, most of the time you're going to start out by creating them with shapes, like we talked about the other day. However, in future lessons, you're going to be using the pen and the pencil tool. The pencil tool, you can click and drag just like your paintbrush tool in Photoshop. And then you can manipulate those points however you need to. Look, I made a whale. Here, we'll add, that's the other nice thing. You can add on to your pencil tool shape, but we'll get to that lesson. The pen tool. I wish somebody had told me this in college. Does not function like the Photoshop paintbrush or like the pencil tool. Your inclination might be to click and drag, and then this happens. That's not what I wanted. What you actually want to do when you're using the pen tool itself, I want you to think in terms of connect the dots. You click, let go, click, let go, click, and build your shape in a series of points and close it. Okay? If you try to drag the pen tool, you just create one point with two very long handles. Okay? The other thing you need to know, let's go ahead and make that a solid shape. One, this is the stroke. That's the border around the shape. You can adjust how thick it is over here. Maybe I want it to be thinner. Maybe I don't want it to be thinner. This is your fill. You have to select something before you change the fill. I don't know why it's being a butt, guys. Oh, I know why it's being a butt, and this is important for all of you. You have 3 states underneath your color picker here. You have fill color, you have gradient, which we'll get into, and you have none. Sometimes I will ask you to put none on your stroke. You click on the stroke, you hit none, it has a red line through it. See how my red stroke went away? Now that I've gone back to solid fill, I can put that in there. Pathfinder is going to be your best friend. It is under Window, like everything else. It allows you to modify shapes by combining or subtracting them. If you are using some of these functions like intersect, like you will in your first one, that's not it. This is intersect. You have to make a copy of whatever is underneath that you don't want left behind. So like say, I think for the most part, you use this for the cartoon mouth. I've got my mouth. I'd like to make some teeth that fit whoops. Gotta deselect, guys. I'd like to make some teeth that fit perfectly in this circle. I could do that by overlapping them. However, when you are using the shape modes, and especially when you are using intersect, it is going to only, and I do mean only, keep this shape where it intersects. So before I do that, I need to make sure I want my black background for my mouth, and I don't want to leave it like that because that'll cover up other stuff. So I'm going to hit Command C, Command F to paste in front. I'm not going to select by dragging like this, because that selects a whole bunch of stuff, and I only want the top two. Now that the top two are selected, I can intersect. It leaves me with just this shape, but I still have my background. That's a common mistake I see too. We will address more as we get there, but another one is using the pencil tool. One of your projects, you're going to learn how to manipulate a shape using it. If you do not follow the path with the pencil tool for a bit and then try to modify it and come back to the path, it won't work, or it'll look goofy. Those are my top things I want you to know about Illustrator. Let's get started.